How we doing, guys? Psycho Steve here again, reporting live outside of Psycho Steve Stadium on this beautiful Tuesday morning with your Week 5 recap. Here's what went down in Week 5. Our first matchup, we had Team Limp versus Team Copadlo. It looked like this might have been Team Limp's first possible loss of the year. Team Copadlo didn't show up for this one, with Sammy Watkins with a big donut with 0 points. Sterling Shepard going down to an ankle injury, putting up only 1 point. And Mike Wallace of the Baltimore Ravens left on the bench with 16 points. But who knew? Thursday night's game, with Jameis Crablegs Winston completing a touchdown pass to Cameron Brate, would be enough points to pull off the victory in this close matchup. This one ended 106-97, Team Limp over Team Copadlo, with Team Limp improving their record to 5-0, and Team Copadlo falling to 2-3. In our next matchup, we had Suffolk Psycho Steve versus the Bohemia Bombers. This looked like a sure win for Suffolk Psycho Steve versus the Bohemia Bombers, who looked like they were going to bomb the entire season. But Leonard Fournette disrespected the Pittsburgh Steelers just like they've been disrespecting the American flag, running all over them for 181 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a big 30-burger with 31 points. Also big performances from Michael Crabtree with 20 points, Deshaun Jackson for 15, and Kyle Rudolph for 16 points. It was unfortunate for Suffolk Psycho Steve with an injury-plagued team. There was more red marks on his roster than his 12th grade research paper. It looks like Suffolk Psycho Steve is in the same position as the New York Giants heading into Week 6, having to rebuild a very injured team. We'll see what he can do coming into Week 6 on the waiver wire. Bohemia Bombers came out big in this victory, his first victory of the year, with a score of 131-89. Suffolk Psycho Steve falling to 1-4 on the year, and Bohemia Bombers getting their first win. Congratulations. I'm fucking pissed I gave it to you, but congrats. Bohemia Bombers improving to 1-4. The Bohemia Bombers are on their way to what looks like another win next week versus the winless Team Mary. Who's going to be the victor of that one in Week 6? Our next matchup, Give Her the Woodhead versus We Are WW Slaves. This is a toss-up, guys. I wasn't sure who was going to pull this one off. It was anyone's matchup. WW Slaves had a huge comeback performance from Davante Adams, who got dinged up with a huge hit from Danny Trevathan, who suffered a concussion. But Davante Adams came back with a 25-point performance. Aaron Rodgers, who you don't want to give the ball to with under 2 minutes in the game, who all he needs is a touchdown because he's the comeback kid. You know, discount, double check. You always want to double check Aaron Rodgers. He had a huge performance with 23 points over the Dallas Cowboys for the victory. Odell Beckham Jr. with 20 points. WW Slaves' first-round pick unfortunately goes down to injury in Week 5 with a fractured ankle and will be out for the rest of the season. He was carted off the field, and it looked like he was hysterical crying. I'm not sure if that was because of his ankle injury or because of WW Slaves' very weak performance by her running backs, who, out of her 3 running backs, only put up 13 points, giving way to Give Her the Woodhead, with with the Graham Cracker, Jimmy Graham, finally finding pay dirt with a 15-point performance, and Chris Hogan of the New England Patriots taking advantage of the glass jaw of Gronkowski's injury, seeing an increased workload, got 21 points. Jarvis Landry, another one, to see an increased workload because of Devontae Parker's injury. Jarvis Landry got his first touchdown and gets 15 points. Alex Smith, with the undefeated Kansas City Chiefs, leads his team to another victory, going to 5-0 with a pretty big performance of 25 points. Give Her the Woodhead beats WW Slaves 138-124, with Give Her the Woodhead improving their record to 2-1 and WW Slaves falling to 1-4 on the year. In our fourth matchup, Travis Tree Trunk versus the undefeated Fire Goodell. This was a pretty weak performance for Fire Goodell considering his undefeated record, coming in at 4-0, and Travis Tree Trunk coming in at 2-1 on the year. This could have been the chance for Fire Goodell to finally lose, only putting up 127 points. But Travis Tree Trunk obviously didn't get the memo that it's now fall, and plenty of leaves fell off his tree this week, as he ended up leaving plenty of points on the field, only scoring 66 points. Fire Goodell coming out on top, 127-66, improving his record to 5-0, and Travis Tree Trunk falling to 2-1 on the year. In our fifth matchup, one of our featured matchups, mother-in-law versus daughter-in-law. Team Pagan versus Team Mary. Team Mary, still desperately looking for her first win, comes up against her new mother-in-law in Team Pagan. Team Mary had big performances out of AJ Green with 29 points, Devin Funches with 18, and the Jacksonville Jaguars with 26 points, with 2 defensive touchdowns, 5 interceptions, and only 9 points against versus the powerful Pittsburgh Steelers. Team Pagan made some pretty good moves, picking up some new waiver wire additions, including Aaron Jones of the Green Bay Packers, who put up 19 points, and Austin Severian Jenkins with a 14-point performance, and her usual go-to wide receiver, T.Y. Hilton, putting up a big 24 points. This was enough for Team Pagan, with Team Mary having a very weak running back performance. Team Mary learns this week to respect her elders. Hopefully next week for Team Mary going up against Bohemia Bombers, who just got their first win, maybe Team Mary will beat the Bohemia Bombers going into week 6. But Team Mary falls to Team Pagan 139-123. Team Pagan improving their record to 3-2, and Team Mary falling to 3-2 on the year. And folks, for our last matchup, our last featured matchup, I was waiting for 5 weeks for this one. Since I saw it in the schedule in week 1, I couldn't wait for this matchup. It was Eli Golden Taint versus Cleats and Cleavage. Husband versus wife. And after week 4, I wasn't sure who wore the pants in this relationship. After Eli Golden Taint went out for his Brazilian wax and his asshole bleaching, I wasn't sure who was the husband and who was the wife in this relationship. With a huge performance out of Melvin Gordon for Cleats and Cleavage, putting up a big 30-burger, 33 points. DeAndre Hopkins with 27 points and Tyreek Hill with 16 points. This looked like it might be enough to beat her husband, Eli Golden Taint. But Deshaun Watson put up 5 fucking touchdowns for 35 points. 2 of those going to Will Fuller the 5th with a 19-point performance and an all-around good performance from Li Golden Taint. Li Golden Taint proves that cleavage is just a tease, and once you've reached the taint, you've secured a true victory. Cleats and Cleavage seems to have left out fantasy football in her prenup stipulations. Maybe these two will see each other again in the playoffs, and hopefully not for Li Golden Taint's sake. If they do, I hope Trevor has a couch to sleep on for the week, because Trevor beats Taylor 165 to 131. Trevor improving to 3-2, and Taylor falling to 3-2 on the year. Husband and wife tied coming into week 6. That's it for your week 6 recap. Please keep an eye out for your biggest performance and your biggest disappointments through week 5. Best of luck to everybody in week 6, and look forward to your week 6 recap coming next Tuesday. See you guys next week.